I think we're almost live. We have to wait for just a few seconds to even determine if we're live. Hi, this is Paul Hoyt, your host of the Ascending Harvest Daily Status Update live Zoomcast. I'm calling them a Zoomcast because Zoom is the technology that we're using, and I like Zoomcast better than webinar. And I'm here with my buddy, business partner, and resident genius on the Ascending Harvest project, Shane McKenna. Say hello to the folks, Shane.
Hello, folks. So excuse me for just a minute while I share this video to my page. And unfortunately, I have to look away in order to do that because I'm working on two different computers here.
Well, and while he is looking away, I'm going to chat just a little bit about who we are and what we're doing here. Actually, I can share to my page right now, which I just did. Share to my timeline. Bingo. All right, so we're shared and we're ready to go. Thanks for your patience. We really do appreciate it. Shane and I gather together every weekday to talk about the status of our Ascending Harvest project, to offer some insights on the company and what we're doing and why we are doing it, and to share a little bit of business wisdom and inspirational insights as well. I'm going to share my screen here just a second, just so you can see what I'm seeing. We're happy to send this to you. I hope you can see that okay. But Ascending Harvest, we've done 4 previous Zoomcasts. This is number 5. The first day we talked about the what and the why of the project. The second day we talked about crowdfunding options and how we chose to come to use the Indiegogo platform. The third day we talked about bringing a product to market and really tapped into Shane's decades of experience in designing products, getting them into the manufacturing process and bringing them to market. And then last Friday, we talked about why human-powered hydroponics is so necessary in the world today. So if you want to know more about the project itself, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, when we're doing it, all of that stuff, I invite you to take a look at those 4 Zoomcasts. I think they're about 25 minutes long each. So it's not going to take you long to get yourself up to speed on where we are. In the coming days, like I said, we're going to share some business wisdom, and we're also going to share some inspirational insights with you. And that last thing is what we plan to do today, is to break tradition with talking about business and talking about our projects, but give you some insight which we hope to be very valuable to you. Shane and I share a common passion here, and that is to be the very best people that we can possibly be every minute of every day of our life, and to do everything we can to help other people do the same, to help you live the healthiest and happiest life possible, to help you be the best person that you can be. And I see Shane nodding his head, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Go ahead, Shane. Talk to me for a minute.
Well, first I would just like to share a little bit of good news of some things that are coming up. We are working on an animation right now that talks about Intelligent Grow Media, our cornerstone patent-pending technology, the technology that makes everything that we're doing possible. It's essentially a facilitator technology that allows a lot of other things to happen. And so go to our webpage, ascendingharvest.com, sign up for the newsletter and to receive updates, because I think once you understand that we've invented a completely new farming technology, it's going to help transport you into the space of hope that there actually is a way for us to help people grow their own food.
That is awesome. I just love it. I love to hear you talk about this project and about the inventions which you have either created or been blessed with, one of the two, or maybe a combination of both. Kind of depends on how you look at it. When we get these insights, were they something that we came up with, or was it something that we were just, in the right place at the right time, and angels came along and tapped us on the shoulder and said, hey, why don't you do this? I kind of like that second one. I kind of like that a lot. It really feels better than thinking that I've done it by myself or on my own. I like the feeling of being more of a channel of love and light and insight and wisdom than being the one that created it in the first place. But that's, it's kind of up to you as to how you want to represent that phenomenon of your genius.
Right.
Cool. Today we're going to talk about something that's near and dear to both of our hearts, to really focus on helping you lead the healthiest and happiest life possible. And that's the concept of a daily practice. Long time ago when I started on my journey, one of the things I learned very quickly was that all of the gurus, all of the sages, all of the counselors, all of the everybody was saying, hey, you know what? You really do have the power to transform yourself at a subconscious level. You do have the power to make being a better person, a happier person, a habit in your life. But the one thing that you absolutely have to do in order to make the most progress possible is a daily practice. You need to focus on those things that are most important to you every single day so that you can send repetitive messages to your subconscious mind in order to train it, in order to build the habits of focus, the habit of positivity, the habit of generosity, etc. I mean, there are hundreds of different virtues of the spirit we can go through, but whatever habit is that you want to create, you have the power to create that habit in your life with a daily practice. I know Shane and I both have one, and I'm going to invite Shane to talk a little bit about his daily practice and what that means to him, and then he's going to turn it back over to me, and I'm going to talk about my daily practice as well. Shane, you're on, buddy.
Thank you, Paul. I do believe that this is a spiritual journey. That's been my experience, and that has been reinforced with many experiences that I've had in life. And in regard to that, one of my daily practices I call my gratitude session. So one of the things that I really enjoy doing is just taking some time to reflect on those things that I'm truly grateful for, both simple and large things that come into my life. No matter where you're at, no matter who you are, no matter what your experience is, there is something to be grateful for. And by focusing on our gratitude and employing the energy of that gratitude, we create momentum in our lives that builds, and it opens us up to receive more. It puts us in a space where we don't want to accept the negativity. We don't want to accept the limitations. We look at what we have been gifted already and start to ask the question, how can I create more value with what I've been given? And as we create that additional value, what we get is more abundance, more flowing energy into and towards that value, which enriches our life. And it doesn't matter how we apply that. We can apply that to our relationships, to our health, to our spirituality, to our jobs. However we want to apply that, we can. And then my other daily practice, which I have done beyond memory, is I spend at least a half hour a day on self-education. And sometimes I plan what I'm going to learn and study, and sometimes I just flow with what I discover. And the way I personally do that is I have my blogs and websites and books, things that interest me, that are focused on my interests. And when I'm going to do focused study, I will go to those particular sources and I'll see what's going on. What's new, what's happening, what new technologies are there, what's happening in organic farming, what's happening in engineering, what's happening in the world of design. These are all things that fascinate me: science, engineering, design, art. So I study those every day, and I believe that that is the foundational preparation that allows me to innovate. I have my real-world experiences combined with continuous education, never stop learning. And for me, that has been a treasure trove of resource that when I'm presented with a problem, there's tons of stuff back here in the gray matter that I can pull out and say, hey, what if we did this and this? And I can create a thought experiment around that because I'm well studied and vastly experienced.
Awesome. You mean you didn't stop learning when you graduated from high school?
No, I carried on high school by dropping out of college 3 times.
Uh-huh.
And you know, for me personally, college was maybe too slow of a learning environment.
Oh.
But I already had the job I wanted, so college was really diminishing returns at that point. So, but no, I didn't stop learning. I'm never going to stop learning. It's something that I enjoy. I would rather open up a book or log on to a blog, an informational blog, than sit in front of the TV or, you know, some other pastime, which I'm not denigrating those pastimes, but for me, you know, learning is one of my number one channels to happiness.
That's awesome. And from a practical standpoint, when during the day do you do your gratitude journal?
I like to do that in the mornings.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes that doesn't work out, but I primarily do that in the mornings when I'm sitting on the back patio, enjoying a cup of coffee, listening to the creek ripple by. I enjoy that time, and I like to reflect, and being right there in nature really helps. But it doesn't matter what time you do it. It matters that you do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Most people will recommend doing something first thing in the morning or last thing before you retire at night, or both of those, whichever, just because your mind has a tendency to be more fresh there. You're not really focused on the things during the day, and you can put all of your attention easier towards your daily practice first thing in the morning or last thing at night. And I certainly recommend that as well. Well, that's a very, very good daily practice. The 2 different daily practices that you have. One is the gratitude journal, and the other one is the learning. You know, just focusing 30 minutes or so on you know, bringing yourself, you know, up to a higher level of learning and wisdom and knowledge about your chosen profession. Those are outstanding. I love that. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my daily practice here in a second, but before I do, I really want to make one really, really important point, and that is, if you haven't got a daily practice right now, when you start one, start with something very simple that feels pretty good. So just, you know, writing down the top 10 things that you have to be grateful for, writing down a list of the blessings in the life, writing down, you know, the people that you admire and respect can be a pretty easy thing. You know, do something that is so easy to do and feels so good that you just want to build a habit out of it. So that one morning when you wake up or just before you retire, you'll think to yourself, oh, what was it I was going to do? And it comes to your mind that this was the habit of daily practice. So I'm a firm believer that he or she who masters their habits actually masters their life. So focus on building the habit of a daily practice first, and then focus on expanding the daily practice, you know, up to whatever comfort level that you have. But the habit is by far the most important. I started my habit of daily practice a long time ago when I was 19 years old, nearly 50 years ago. And it was a habit of meditating twice a day. You know, first thing in the morning when I got up out of bed, I'd go sit in an easy chair and just relax. Just focus on relaxing all of my body, and from my toes to my nose, I said. just going through the body and focusing on that relaxation exercise first thing in the morning. And then when I got home from work, I developed the habit of taking a little time out and a little transition time, a detoxification, de-stressing time, to let go of all the stuff at work and start to pay more attention to what was going on at home. Did that for years and years and years. And then gradually my daily practice expanded to a lot of other things. And so my daily practice today has 4 different parts to it. First thing in the morning, from the second I first gain consciousness, still laying in bed in the morning, my attention turns toward raising my vibration and being at my best. I remember what it's like. I can't really feel it, but I can remember that something is there. I remembered it's like, oh yeah, I remember there's this thing that's off in the distance there, this wonderful feeling, this magnificent way of experiencing life. And yeah, I remember that I can get back there again. And yeah, I remember that it's going to take a little bit. And gradually this starts to come into focus. And over a period of minutes, I shift my energy back and elevate my consciousness back into a higher state, into a healthier and happier way of looking at life and experiencing life. Then I go into a rather intense self-reflection. So I look at the previous day and I ask myself, what pissed me off yesterday, or what made me happy yesterday? And I do some self-reflection that really started out with just those 2 questions and now has expanded to where it is many, many more questions than that. But that really is helpful about understanding the triggers and responses that I had and understanding why those were there, and really focusing my attention on being the best person I can be. I have probably 15 or 20 little affirmations and mantras that I go through every morning while I'm in the process of that daily self-reflection. And that's daily practice number 2. And again, mine has expanded over time. For the last 12 years, I've continued to expand that. And that's why, by the way, I never share my daily practice with anybody else, other than to say, to start out with asking yourself those 2 most important questions: what pissed me off and what made me happy? And really go from there. Then you can ask other questions like, was I judgmental of anybody? Was I critical of anybody? Was I, did I yell at anybody? And ask yourself, whatever comes up for you, ask yourself if you did that again, and keep building that up. So that's number 2 for me. And that, by the way, takes me about an hour every single morning whenever I do that. Step number 3 is during the middle of the day. Whenever I notice that my energy is a little low, I notice a little shadow energy coming in, a little doubt, little discouragement, little hesitation, little resistance, whatever, I immediately shift my energy and I practice awakening back up to the person that I am when I'm at my best. And that, of course, is my mantra. I call it the practice of awakening. It's the title of the book that I published in 2010. Practice of Awakening 2, The First Light of Joy, is the book I published in 2013. That is my practice. One of the coolest things about practicing shifting your energy during the day is that it is a skill set, and that the more you practice it, the better you get at it. The quicker you can shift your energy, the more deeply you can shift your energy, and the less time that you spend in the shadows. It is a skill set, so you practice constantly during the day, 10, 15, 20 times during the day. And I'm going to show you a great technique here in just a second, but I do want to talk about phase 4 for me, which is before I retire. Before I retire, I meditate again, and I like to do physical exercises before I retire. Yoga, stretching exercises, push-ups, strengthening exercises, in addition to the running and the rowing and the biking and all that other stuff. For whatever reason, it works for me to do it right before I go to bed. So it's almost like this self-awareness, this shifting of the energy is a constant and steady focus throughout my day, every single day. And it really has paid dividends. I mean, fantastic. I oftentimes, just give thanks that I've lived long enough to experience life in the way that I do. And the key to all of that has been the daily practice. Is that what you find too, Shane?
Yes, I also find that, when you have that opportunity to do your practice in the morning, it's much easier to recall that throughout the day when you need it. So the gratitude session might be focused in the morning, but it doesn't stop when inspiration comes along, when some good event happens, or somebody, sends you a message of appreciation. It's really easy to go right back into gratitude and be thankful for all of the blessings that you get to experience by having started that at the beginning of the day, or whatever your focus is. By starting that at the beginning of the day, you'll easily fall back into it.
Yeah, it's at the top of your mind, right?
Right. It's essential to being on that path of mostly elevating, right? We have this graph that is spiking up and down, and that's fine as long as it's spiking up more than it's spiking down. and those up spikes are contributed greatly in whatever we're focusing on. If we start at the beginning of the day, we start our day with that intention. We're telling ourselves what we need to accomplish and how we are equipped to accomplish it. So it makes it much easier to get where you're going.
That's awesome. Yeah, the key is, you become what you focus on. Your thoughts become things. The focus and the intention of your reality, it manifests. So we focus on those things, on being the person that we want to be, more and more often during the day. I mentioned earlier I was going to give you all just a very simple state shifting technique that I, created, I guess maybe 6 or 7 months ago, and that I practice literally dozens of times during the day. It's as simple as ABC. And ABC stands for, A stands for align, B stands for breathe, and C stands for celebrate. And it's really very simple. The A is aligning your body, getting your chest up a little higher off the floor, getting your back a little bit straight, getting those kinks out of your body and getting your posture to where it's a very powerful posture and you're back in alignment. Breathe is simple, just taking a breath, and then celebrate. Think of something in your life that you can celebrate. They'll celebrate that meal that's coming up. Celebrate that good friend that you just talked to. Celebrate that opportunity that's coming up in your life. Celebrate just the fact that we have the opportunity to be alive and experience this amazing, amazing human experience. So I invite you to practice that several times during the day. Just align, breathe, and celebrate. Align, breathe, and celebrate. Anytime that you see yourself in the shadows or feel a little doubt, discouragement, shame, embarrassment, guilt, frustration, disappointment, any of that shadow energy in your life, just align, breathe, and celebrate, and shift your back again. So try that. And type it, once you try that a few times, give us a comment in the Facebook Live post that we're doing and let us know how that works for you, because it certainly has been something that's worked for me.
That's really simple to do as well.
Yeah,
it's very simple and effective.
Yeah, so give it a shot. And if you've had a chance to listen to this, and we hope that you have, please do a couple of things for us. Go to ascendingharvest.com and sign up for our list, because we do put out a newsletter every once in a while with a listing of all of the updates on the projects and other things of information and importance to you. And also go to our YouTube presence, our YouTube channel that you have to look up right now, because we need to get 100 subscribers for that. And when we get 100 subscribers for it, then we'll be able to have a custom URL. We're up to, I think this morning when we checked, up to 33 subscribers. So thank you for all of those who have subscribed. And if you haven't done so yet, please go to YouTube, look up Ascending Harvest, and subscribe to our channel, and then you'll get notifications whenever we publish new little videos like this as well. So I think that's about it. Is that about it, Shane, for today?
I think we're going to give a system away, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you. Gosh, that's why we have team. So every day when Paul remembers it, and when Shane reminds him, we want to give away one of our human-powered hydroponic systems, which we anticipate will be ready for market in Q1 of 2019. And you don't have to make up your mind today, but when those systems are ready, we'll notify you that your system is ready, and we'll either ship it to you or you can donate it to a family in need, whichever you like. We've had 4 winners so far, and we're ready to pick a 5th winner. All we do is, Shane, you give me a number that you randomly choose in between 1 and 10,000, and we'll announce the winner.
And I just Google random number generator, and I get this online app here. And so I'm just going to generate. And the number today is 3968. Can you see that? 3968.
No, I can't see it, but I don't need to see it. I can type it in. 3968. And the winner today is Patrick White, W-I-G-H-T. Patrick White has won our system for today. Patrick, we're going to send you an email here in a little bit. And if we're Facebook friends, we're going to tag you on this post. Congratulations. You have won your very own human-powered hydroponic system. And as I mentioned, we will get that to you, whenever these systems start to be manufactured in Q1 19. So if you would like, or if you would please share this with other people so that they can go to ascendingharvest.com, sign up for our list, and be eligible for this prize drawing that we do every single day. Go to YouTube, like our channel there so we can get up to 100 subscribers and have a custom URL. And by all means, and maybe most important from today's conversation, is focus on your daily practice. If you don't have one, then by all means start one. Start it slow, make it fun, build up the habit, and gradually over time use that to shift your energy. Focus on the things you're grateful for. Focus on learning new things. Focus on finding ways to let go of all of that fear and desire and attachments, addictions in your life, to let go of all that stress and anxiety, and do what you can do, which is a lot, to lead a healthier and happier life.
Amen.
Amen. And the crowd said amen. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate it. We'll see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.